Hey guys, it's Raleigh. So today we're going to be talking about the studio update. I kind of was suspecting that we would get some info from ArenaNet, but I wasn't sure. And I recently made a video um, talking about, like, theorizing a little bit about Nayos. To be honest, and I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, I knew it was coming, but I kind of felt like we're gonna get some news on the next map coming soon. So that's why I wanted that video to kind of, I wanted to get it out before that because I wanted to pose a theory and then see how that theory pans out. Kind of is what I wanted to do. So I put out that video. It was pretty much just like a 1 day production thing. I sat down. I was just like, I'm gonna talk about some stuff, whatever. And then I was like, we're gonna see. And then I wanted to see when, because I knew ArenaNet was gonna give us an update on what was gonna be happening in the game soon. So I was kind of gonna wait to see what that would be, and then make a video. And then we got the studio update today, and there's a lot of info. A lot they've packed a lot of info in it. So we're gonna go through. I'm gonna kind of read through it with you guys, because there's a lot of really good info, and there's a lot of really cool pictures that we get as well of the new map. There's a couple of things where I'm a little iffy, but I will say I only kind of skimmed through most of the stuff, so I don't really like fully know. But like I know what it says, but I feel like I didn't fully comprehend what some of the stuff is. So maybe I'll change my mind on some of the stuff. But yeah, so let's get into that. Let's open that up to you guys. All right, you should be able. Yep, so we can see it. All right, so we have a studio update for autumn and winter. I love how they call it autumn instead of fall. And winter 2023. We get these all the time. Weren't they doing like two separate ones? They were doing like a studio update and then like a game update or something. Studio update and game update, like those two separate things, but they've kind of like blended them together now the last couple of times, which is totally fine because I feel like just having them separate. I mean, I really feel like they could just be doing like one post and just make it really long and give us a lot of info. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff to go through here. So, greetings, Tyrians. The launch of Guild Wars has filled the sky. Secrets of the Obscure has filled the sky. Blah blah blah. Through the Veil, the first of three major updates. So they've talked about. I feel like they've kind of talked about three updates, but there were. I think the majority of stuff that they've been talking about has always been like update 1 and update 2, and we didn't really know like what update 3 is gonna be. I think maybe like we've seen this before. Maybe I'm misremembering this. But yeah, we're gonna go through that table of contents. But I feel like there's more now as I look through this than there was before. Maybe this is more detailed. You guys can let me know. I mean, obviously we get like, you know, we're gonna go through some of this, but I feel like there's more content overall. Anyways, so the next update is coming November 7th, which is pretty close, guys. What is that? 2 weeks? Hold on, let me look real quick. Yeah, 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, which is, I think that's right on the day, and I could be wrong on this, but I think that's right on the day when the Wizards Vault is gonna be updated, right? I think that's right on that day before or something like that is gonna be like, that's probably right the day. I think that's right when that happens. So they have that kind of gives us, that's very interesting because that gives us the ability to predict whenever we get the new update. Because when we look at the vault, we've never known specifically when these updates would come, but now that we have the vault and they have a specific time on them and they tell us exactly like how many days are left on it, we know exactly when the next update comes, which is kind of cool, but it also is kind of, you know, they're putting themselves in this like, okay, you have to remember how in season 3 and season 4 we had issues with they had issues. We had issues with what they were doing, but you know, they were kind of inconsistent on the release dates. Like season 3 I think was good, but season 4 they were having issues or something like that where it went from like every 2 months to every 3 months to every 4 months, and it was just kind of like little inconsistent in that way. So they're promising us consistency, I feel like, I hope that that doesn't come to bite them in the ass. So where they maybe have to change the date on it and then extend how long we have with the current set of vault items, and then maybe give us extra acclaim to make up for it or something. I mean, I wouldn't be super against that if that were to happen, but I'm saying, like, it's kind of a fine line, right? So the blog posts and announcements, we know that there is, yeah, we know about the access to all. I hate that they say all new expansion content, because they should say all new expansion content for Secrets of the Obscure, because it's just for Secrets of the Obscure. Okay, they're saying, like, because what, in a year from now we have a new expansion coming out, and someone's gonna be like, well, you said all new expansion content is gonna be free with, it's gonna be permanent access to those. I don't know. I feel like there's someone that's gonna be like that. And Through the Veil, 3 new story chapters. So we're gonna get 3 new chapters. I think the story of Secrets of the Obscure had 10 chapters, right? Which 9 and 10 were kind of together. It was like the last battle was chapter 10, which was kind of just latched onto chapter 9. So we're gonna get about a third of the story that we have of Secrets of the Obscure, which went all the way through, I think, rescuing Patha. So what, a couple of hours of content, perhaps, of stories, or straight up story is what we're gonna get, I feel like, is what it's gonna be. But yeah, anyway, so we're going into our first brave steps into a new world, Nayos, the realm of dreams. And like I said, we're going to be talking about that a lot in this video, because there's really cool stuff to see. There's really interesting things that they're telling us. So if you haven't gotten a chance to play yet, you've got 2 weeks to get caught up. But they have put together a little, which is really interesting, because they start off really, like, it's really funny the way they worded right in the beginning. So they have a little trailer that they put together. I have sound turned off for me, but you guys can hear it in the background. It's probably louder than me, but that's okay, because I'm not going to be talking much. But it says previously on Secrets of the Obscure, so it's like a TV show. I love how they, like, word that. It's like previously on Secrets of the Obscure. Like, you just need an announcer to say that, so but yeah, I mean, this is pretty much stuff, and I can lower this a little bit. The music is really good that we're seeing. I think that's supposed to be the commander, right? So that's going to be the, like, I don't know if they've really shown us the commander character here, but it's a blue-skinned, oh my god, Sylvari, Jesus, I couldn't think of the name. Is the stand-in, right? We had Anya for Ice Fruit Saga, and then we had, before that, we had the guy, what was the guy's name? I forgot, but he was the one that was for Path of Fire. He was the stand-in. I don't know if they gave us one for End of Dragons. Did they give us, like, an analog for the commander in End of Dragons? I don't know if they did, but I'm guessing this is going to be the new one. They wanted us to, so this is pretty much supposed to be us right here. I do like it. He looks really cool. He looks like he's straight out of Cantha with that hairstyle and just the way that he looks. Really cool. But yeah, so they're kind of showing us the fight with this Garen. I mean, for those of you that haven't played, like, you're missing out. But they didn't show too much either. So, shared inventory slots, so you can get the standard edition, and they show you, like, the locks, blah, blah, blah. You can get the different editions. Trying to sell the expansion, which is fine. But then we get this image, right? And we get this image, and I actually have this image pulled up, so we're going to look at it, and then after that, that's all they give us. They give us, like, 10 seconds of just this image. So I do have this image. Let me pull it up for you guys. So there it is, and I kind of stupidly didn't pull it up for myself, because I can't. So let me pull it up for myself. Here we go. So let's look at this image a little bit, okay? Because I feel like there is a lot of interesting... There's something interesting to talk about. So obviously we see Patha, and obviously we see, we see, like, half and half, right? And I think what we're seeing here, we're seeing Nayos, right? I think we can confirm this. This is the it looks like the Temple of Ceres, or the Temple of Temple of Febe, not Temple of Ceres, but that's where Ceres was, where we defeated him. But we're kind of looking at the window with her, right, being in front of it and stuff. And it's just really interesting because she doesn't look different on either side. She just like looks darker. But you can see that on the right side, there's like a lot of like, the Cryptus corruption we know is like red, right? There's a lot of red, blah, 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 all this stuff. But on the left side, remember, there's a lot of blues and a lot of pinks and a lot of, a little bit of red too. But remember how I talked about on this recent video that I made about the concept art that we had in the vault, right? Doesn't this remind you though of like the coloring of the vault, right? We talked about the blue sky with the purple, with the pinks, we kind of with the buildings in the background. Like, doesn't this remind you of that? Why do we get two different sides here? Again, I'm thinking that this is what Nayos looked like before, and with the Cryptus taking over, this is what it looks like now. I feel like there is going to be a world, a magical, fantastical world that looks like the one side, right? That looks like the left of the screen that we can see here, and that's being transformed by the Cryptus into what's on the right. I think that's what's happening here, guys. I think that I was pretty spot on. Again, I don't know. Obviously, the reason I say this is not because I want to be, oh my god, I was correct on everything. The point that I'm trying to make is that that's what I want it to look like, okay? That's the only reason why I'm pressing this so hard, because I would love for that to be the case. As we get further into this post as well, we're going to see other pictures, which kind of confirm some of the, so kind of like it's supportive evidence and also a little bit contradicting evidence, I feel like. But again, I feel like this is going to be a world that has both things going on. It's the original realm of dreams that is all magical and fantastical, and then there's going to be parts of this realm that are going to be taken over by the Cryptus with Cryptus corruption. I feel like we're going to see both of these things. That's what I think, at least, because this is clearly set in the Temple of Febe, with the pillars, with the window in the back. Like, that's exactly what the Temple of Febe looked like, but there's the red corruption and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of what we're looking at here. So let's continue with the post, and we're going to see more pictures. So in addition to new story chapters and the opening of the third map, the Cosmic Observatory Strike Mission Challenge Mode, and the, I don't know how to say that, Oneris? I want to say it's Oneris spun armor set, but you guys know how terrible. I used to call Omnitas Omnitis. So, I don't know, Oneris, Oniris, I don't know how to say that, if you guys know. This is, again, is this another Greek name? We're kind of basing a lot of Cryptus stuff on Greek names. So are we going to get like a Cryptus-inspired armor set? That would be really cool. Oneris spun armor set, I really like that. We're getting an armor set, okay, which is really cool. And I don't know if this, so and we're gonna get into this in a second. And then so they made it simple by giving us the chart. Okay, so everything that we got on August 22nd was the launch story arc, right, with the 10 chapters I just talked about. We got the map, the Skywatch Archipelago with all the fractals and stuff, Omnitas with all the different bastions, and then the Wizard's Tower, okay? We got the Strike Mission, the Cosmic Observatory, and the Temple of Febe. We got the Weapon Master training for the weapons, the Masteries, Heart of the Obscure Research, Flight Training, and Astral Ward stuff. The Vault introduced the Rift Armor and the Astral Ward Armor. Okay, so the Rift Armor was pretty much what we could earn through doing the story. You could earn the whole armor set. And the Astral Ward Armor is like having to do rifts, and it's very expensive. It's very expensive. I haven't even crafted not one piece, but I haven't really done any rifts and stuff. I probably have enough, like, because I've been doing like rifts here and there as I kind of been playing over the last couple months. So I probably have enough to craft one, but I also feel like it's a huge investment of like materials to like make that happen. So I've just kind of stayed away from that. Then we got 40 core relics, and we got 12 Secrets of the Obscure relics, which a lot of people have pointed out, like, and myself included, that they need different. A lot of them seemed very boring in the effects that they do, very ineffective. It kind of goes back to like how the runes are, where we have like God knows how many rune sets, but only the really effective ones are like a set, for each role that you want to fulfill, there's like a couple of rune sets maybe that you can use, and then the rest are just kind of obsolete. Kind of happened with the relics as well, I want to say. There's not that many where you're like, ooh, I can take this or this instead. You know, like for damage, I think there's like 2 separate ones that people are saying like, this is good and this is good. The rest are all kind of trash. So, you know, maybe a little disappointing. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about that. But you know, I think it goes to just, you know, this system has just been introduced, and it's kind of thrown the whole rune thing. I really wish before adding the relics, they would have kind of redone the runes and kind of made, because now they have, like I said before, in another video, they have the rune sets now that are kind of don't make sense. There's like an added 6th effect on the, you know, the 6th, you know, tier, that doesn't really make sense on the set, and it's just kind of like you did it because you didn't want to have a copy of another one, but it doesn't make sense because you can't. So I don't know. The relics I'm a little iffy about. There's some really cool ones. Like I use the Eye of Ceres all the time. I think the relic of Ceres that has the like spawns the eye that, like, I don't see anyone using them, but I just really love that effect. And I know it might not be the most effective thing, but I play mostly PvE, so who cares anyways. And then Rift Hunting. So we had the regular on the Secrets of the Obscure maps, and a rotation of 12 existing maps. So that was really nice. They expanded on that as well. They added like extra maps, I think, to the rotation, didn't they? So that's kind of nice. So pretty much, I mean, honestly, for like a quote-unquote mini expansion, like if they're doing this on an annual basis, I think they did pretty well. There's some kinks that they can work out, and it really depends on how these other updates are going to look, right? It kind of, because all of these together, all of this together, that's going to be Secrets of the Obscure, right? We can only judge the expansion by having all of the content. And yes, a lot of people are like, well, you know, I hate that I have to wait for all of the expansion content. I do understand where those people are coming from, but I also think that, you know, I would really hate if they, like, let's say they would have released all of this on August 22nd, and we would have to wait until August 22nd of 2024 for new, for like new content and new things to come into the game. I feel like by Christmas, you would be through all of this, like all the things, right? You know, we know how people are with like getting armor stuff done. Like people already have enough, of the like hunting, like rift hunting, and like getting those motivations and getting the essences and stuff like that. They have enough already for the legendary armor. Um, so I'm at this point, I'm kind of thinking like by Christmas, you know, the hardcore player base would already be through content, and we would have to, and those people would have to wait like 9 months to get more content, right? And you would have like a huge content drought. So I kind of like that they're gatekeeping a lot of this stuff, because it just kind of like, okay, you focus on this and you focus on this, and it just gives us little updates every so often. I don't know. I kind of like that. I feel like this keeps the player base more active, more involved, more, you know, and kind of, it keeps it fresh, right? There's always like every 3 months there's new stuff coming out. So I don't know. I'm totally okay with it, but that's just me. Anyways, so November 7th, we have Story Continues. We know that the Inner Nayos map. So we see that this is going to be a 3-parter. I don't know. Final map completed. I feel like, I don't know if they're going to split this in 3. I thought about this while I was preparing to start recording this video, but I was kind of thinking about how I feel if they split Nayos in 3. And I would really kind of hate that. Because again, I kind of think back of season 3 and season 4, how every 3 months we would get one whole map. So now if we're getting every 3 months a third of a map, and like, even if you look at something like Crystal Oasis, right? Crystal Oasis is a huge map. Like it spans, I know that not every corner of it is used for something, you know, but I'm just saying, like, think of the space, or even like Ellen Riverlands or something that's like a flat space, kind of, like that's kind of what I'm thinking of. And imagine that in third, like even that, like even those massive maps don't feel like a third of that map doesn't feel like that's a lot of space. So I'm hoping that that it's a half and a half, and then they just say final map completed by maybe adding like a corner to it, or maybe add it like having like um I don't know, access to like a building or something, like the building that we see in the back of that picture or something like that. I don't know. I'm thinking like having a certain corner of the map that's maybe locked away for the last bit where we have the final fight against Eparch or something like that. But yeah, anyway, so we do get introduced to Inner Nayos, which is interesting that that's what it's called. It's not just called Nayos, it's called Inner Nayos. Okay. Cosmic Observatory, we get the challenge mode here. We'll see how that goes. Again, I don't run strikes that often. I've done both of them. They're both, I think, pretty decent. Cosmic Observatory, I really want to see if that's going to be challenged. Nothing on weapons, which is going to come in the next update after that. We get Inner Nayos Masteries, which we're going to read about a little bit here in the Convergences, which is the one thing that I'm very, like, iffy on, and I'll explain why. Then we get the Seasonal Refresh on the Vault. We got the Oneris spun armor. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Again, correct me, guys. I always make the mistake. They talk about relics later on, and then converges with legendary enemies. Rift hunting map rotation completed. Meaning that it's probably going to start over from the beginning, I hope. Because it says the rotation is completed, but yeah, I would like them to go back maybe and like rotate through them as we go through. But yeah, anyways, and then we get the 2024. This is early 2024, and then this is like, so this is probably gonna be in February. I'm guessing this is gonna come out because it's November, December, January, February. Yeah, beginning of February. I'm guessing probably we're gonna get this. I think they do talk about this. Down below. And then we're going to get February, March, April, May. Beginning of May, we're going to get this, where it's finished. So May, and then May, June, July, August. So, and then in August, maybe get the next expansion. I mean, that would be exactly a year, right? So that would make sense. That would kind of work out, right? So that does make sense. So final map extended. We get the Temple of Febe. This is when we're gonna get our new weapons. So early February, I guess, is when we're gonna get our new weapons. But they do have some great news for those weapons down below. Mastery updates. They obviously didn't want to give us anything because they might give away some stuff. We get more of the Vault refresh. Which I think is a great addition. Honestly, the Vault has been really good. For every little, like every few weeks, they give us new special, in the special tab, new way to earn acclaim, right? Which honestly, you get so much acclaim that you can buy all of the things in there. I mean, it's insane. If you do all of the things, if you do your weeklies, if you do your dailies, you can easily get all of the things in there, even, and it's great. I think it's really good. I've made a ton of gold just playing those things and getting my acclaim, and just buying the bags of gold. Even now at the end, that's kind of what I'm spending my money on. It's just like the bags of gold, because the other stuff in there I don't really need. It's just really nice. I'm like, I can just like play the game casually every day, like how I've always been doing this for the last 11 years, but I can make a decent chunk of gold as I go through it, and work towards other legendaries and stuff like that. It's really nice. Then we're gonna get our obsidian legendary armor tier 1. Not sure why it's split in tiers. That's gonna be very interesting to find out. Maybe one is like, I'm guessing tier 1 is probably gonna be the not cosmetic version. It's going to be like the not glowy version, the very plain looking version that's legendary nonetheless. Like you get you can change stuff on it. And then tier 2 is where you can get like where it looks all glowy and fantastical and like, ooh yeah, it's all flashy, like you get on the raid legendary armor, where if you go like in combat, they have the like things extend on the armor and stuff, like things flash, and going into the combat stance, like things happen. That's probably what we're gonna get on tier 2, I think, is what's gonna happen. Legendary relic, that's gonna be very interesting because they haven't given us any news on this stuff. Again, that's gonna be because right now getting relics is not that expensive, so that doesn't really seem like, I don't know, is there going to be like an effect again? We have so many effects in the game, and it's just like so bloated with like infusions and all these things where I'm just like, well, I wonder what that's really gonna be. New legendary enemies, and then new legendary enemies there. But yeah, story concludes, final map, fractal with challenge mode. Finally getting that fractal. I really felt like we're gonna get the fractal sooner. I don't know if they've ever told us specifically when we're gonna get it, but I hate that I have to wait until like May of next year to get the fractal, right? But it is what it is. I'm gonna be very interested. I have a feeling that it's maybe gonna be like Nayos in the past or something, and that's why they're releasing it. You know, maybe it's gonna be I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be something with like Asgard and Epark, like a thing that happened in the past with them or something. There seems to be like some history that we don't really know. More of that. We've talked about this. Additional expansion relics. So they're giving us, I think, like 4 new ones or something, and they're going to give us more here, and a new legendary armor. Okay. Eagle Eye observers will notice that the only real change from last time is that we moved up some items. We previously thought we'd need to add a few additional maps to the Rift Hunting rotation with each of the releases, but we're able to include 6 new maps to the rotation with the September 26th build. Yeah, so they added those. An additional 6 will be implemented with Through the Veil, completing the Rift Hunting map rotation. Meaning that we're going to have more maps, and I guess the rotation... I don't know if they added 6, like there were 6 and then they added 6 to make 12. I don't know how many there are in the rotation. I just hope that they keep going through it because, like I said, I haven't really done it. But once the legendary armor is out and once I see it, I know I'm going to be enticed to want to do Rift. So I hope that they keep doing these, you know, and stuff like that. Get ready, Rift Hunters. We're excited. So this is one of the big, like, what the heck is going on in here kind of thing. Shout out to the Game Grumps, I guess, because that was totally one of those things. One of their things. I did not come up with that. What the heck is going on here? Convergences. So get ready, Rift Hunters. We're excited to take demon hunting to a whole new level with convergences, which are public or squad-based forays into enemy territory. Okay. Let's just read through it. The new story will introduce you to the concept of convergences and include the associated inner Nayos mastery track. Okay. Together with fellow Rift Hunters, you'll open up a portal into the home realm of the Cryptus, where you'll need to have your weapons at the ready and your wits about you. There are no waypoints in the hostile territory you'll strike into. It'll take coordination between players to keep yourselves and your allies alive long enough to complete your objective and take out the legendary Cryptus lurking in each convergence. The public version of convergences operates on a timer, while squads can open convergences on demand with unstable Cryptus motivations acquired from Tier 2 and Tier 3 bounties. Okay, we're going to go through this. I want to finish reading this. You can also earn unstable Cryptus motivation each week by participating in convergences. So let's talk about this, okay? Let's kind of go through. I wanted to finish reading this because I have a lot of thoughts on this. So first of all, so public or squad-based into enemy territory. Forays into enemy territory. So the public is on a timer, so it's probably going to be like Dragonstorm, the Marionette, like those types of things. It's going to be like the Tower, isn't the Tower of Nightmares also on a timer? Those types of things. I don't think that they have been very successful in the past doing those things. I mean, I know that like Dragonstorm people do, but it's also very quick going in and doing that. So if it's going to be like Dragonstorm, I think that's going to work out really well. I have a lot of reservations for now because I need to see them in action. Because they also kind of remind me the way that they kind of word some of this stuff. Like you open a portal into the home realm of the Cryptus, which again, I kind of want to talk about that in the lore aspect of things in a minute, but it kind of sounds to me like DRMs as well, Dragon Response missions, and those weren't very successful. Remember how we could like go into different DRMs and with like, you know, a few of our friends or whatever and do these missions on repeat and stuff. The thing to me is that I feel like ArenaNet once again is adding some kind of end game activity that once the next expansion comes out is going to be completely forgotten, just like Dragon Response missions. I don't want that to happen. I want them to you know, I don't know. This I feel like they don't give us enough details in here to really understand. Because the public version operates on a timer, and then you get unstable Cryptos motivations from tier 2 and 3 bounties. So are bounties back as well? Like, this is very confusing where we don't get enough information. Let me know what you guys think this is gonna be. Maybe I'm like completely wrong. Maybe people are just like, no, 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 this is gonna be like this really cool thing. Maybe I'm misunderstanding some of this stuff. But to me, it sounds like it's gonna be like a mix of like Dragon Response Mission, like that type of stuff, with like Dragon Response missions and like Dragon Storm or something like that. Like maybe it's a mix of that. I don't know. I just really hope that you know the issue that I don't have is not necessarily Dragon Response missions, right? Those are fine, those are whatever, right? But the issue is that ArenaNet keeps making these endgame activities and then abandoning them, right? Putting all the effort and putting so much, putting effort, like developer effort, time, and money into developing these things that they only drop a year later, right? That's what's so frustrating. It's like we had dungeons and then they became abandoned, right? We had the we had fractals, which were abandoned for a long time as well. Then we had raids, which have been abandoned now. Like all these things, like Dragon Response missions, which have been abandoned, right? There's so many different things that ArenaNet has kind of done for endgame content, that I'm just like, what are you trying to do with this? Is this going to be your new endgame content for just? It sounds like, I mean, the way that this sounds like this is going to be just for Secrets of the Obscure, and then we're going to move on from that point. So in a year from now, when we have the new expansion, are people, that are looking for PvE legendary armor, are they going to be able to find groups to do convergences with? Or is it going to be like the Tower of Nightmares, where you go into the public version of it, and there's no one in there, and you have to struggle through it? I haven't done the Tower of Nightmares in a long time, but my sister recently, she played through the whole entire story. She was kind of like lagging behind on a lot of the stuff, and she was playing through season 1, which had been implemented into the game. So she was playing through it, and she was like, I didn't even finish the Tower of Nightmares because I tried to go through it and there was like no one in there. And she's a like a really good PvP player, but like PvE she doesn't play enough to really understand how it all works and stuff, because those two modes are very different from each other. Like she understands how to hunt down like a person in a PvE match, but when you're like faced up against like 20 enemies that have like abilities that you have no idea about, right? It's like overwhelming, especially in the Tower. The Tower of Nightmares is pretty tough. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be something like that that's going to be abandoned in a year, right? That's my only worry. It's like people that want to work on Legendary Armor in a year from now, when we leave Secrets of the Obscure and move on to what's next, I don't want them to be stuck with not being able to do, like having to kind of go on the forums and or whatever, go to guilds and beg them to help them with it. I want it to be a natural thing that kind of exists in the game. So and that's also because they don't talk about rewards, what you can really earn in here. You can earn unstable Cryptos motivations, yes, that's fine, but what other rewards are in there? The rewards is what makes people want to keep playing a certain like content. Like it's always like time investment versus the money that you make out of it, or the items that you get out of it, or whatever. So it has to be worth it to do that. Anyways, yeah, so that's kind of my rant about that. I'm very reserved on it. I just want to see how it plays out, how it's gonna be. Let me know what you guys think. Honestly, I'm open to any. I have not taken a side. I will tell you guys, I have not taken a side. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I'm just kind of sitting here and I'm like, I'm not an endgame PvE player, guys. I will tell you, like hardcore endgame PvE. I do strikes once in a while. I do fractals once in a while, but it's honestly me just like running around the open world, having a good time, and just doing events and just like collecting items and doing whatever. Like I'm very like la di da di da, kind of skipping around the open world. Like that's what I do. So this doesn't really, not that it doesn't concern me, because I would like to work on the legendary armor, and I'll probably have to do convergences in order to get the legendary armor, but I'm not invested enough in that type of gameplay that I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna break my experience of Guild Wars 2. It's not going to. But then we talk about, let's talk about the lore aspect of that, because right here in this sentence, and I'm going to reread the sentence, together with fellow Rift Hunters, you'll open up a portal into the home realm of the Cryptas, where you'll need to have your weapons at the ready and your wits about you. So this is interesting, because I talked about this in the video where I talked about Nayos, right? Recently that I released, where we know that Nayos was originally the Mersad realm, right? We know this from the achievement that you can do it after the main story, where you it's kind of like Mabon's story, like you go back and it's an achievement. I think it's called the Unseen of Strength of the Unseen or something is what the achievement is. And you go and you kind of learn a lot about like Mabon's history and his like journey and whatever, blah blah. And you can read in his journal and you hear him say, I think there's like an apparition or something where he appears, where he talks about how the Mersad were originally from Nayos, okay? And because people actually commented on the last video and kind of were like, where was this revealed? So I kind of wanted to kind of talk about that as well. But yeah, so we know that the Nayos, the Realm of Dreams, was originally the Mersad realm, we're guessing, right? That's their home, right? He says our actual home. So that is where they're from, where the Mersad are really from. So the Cryptas aren't from there. I'm guessing that was kind of my theory. I was just like, maybe they're from another realm. One might think that it says open up a portal into the home realm of the Cryptas. That one might say, oh, well, we're going to open up a portal into Nayos and we're going to travel into Nayos in order to fight the Cryptas. But remember, in this new map, we're going to go into Nayos. Like, Nayos is going to be revealed to us. That's going to be by the end of May, where you're going to still be doing convergences. Remember, in May, that's going to be the last release. That's when all the maps, Nayos is going to be completely open to us. We're going to be able to roam around Nayos. We're still going to be doing convergences. We're not going to be traveling from Nayos into Nayos. We're going to be traveling from Nayos into the home realm of the Cryptas, guys. We're going into a third realm, I think is what they're introducing here. They're introducing the idea of the home realm of the Cryptas. So we go back to this picture. Remember the picture of Patha. Remember this picture, right? We look at this picture and we see two different things, right? So maybe, and just maybe, I talked about this a little bit as well. Let's take Tyria out of the conversation for a minute. Don't think about our home realm of Tyria. Don't think about that for a minute. Just think about Nayos versus the demon realm, right? So, what if the home realm of the Cryptas, right? What if, and I talked about this, remember A Link to the Past, I talked about the two opposing, like the light world and the dark world, right? And the light world and the dark world, there were like mirror worlds. They mirrored each other, right? They looked the same, but they were just, the dark world was like a twisted version of the light world. What if the home realm of the Cryptas is a twisted version of Nayos? And maybe that's why the Cryptas invaded Nayos, because they were like these, maybe in the whole realm of the myths and the whole idea of the myths, maybe those two realms were much closer together than maybe like Nayos is to Tyria, right? Like, is there like we don't know what the distance is between traveling through the myths. Like, is there like, are certain realms connected to each other more than other realms, right? Is there like some realms that are like farther away, that are harder to reach from certain locations? We don't really know what myths travel has to do with it. But that's like kind of a little bit of a theory that I have. Talking about the home realm, because when we look at this picture, so what do I think we're seeing here? I think here we're looking at a picture of the home realm of the Cryptas. I think that is what this picture is, right? We see the gross fleshiness of the Cryptas, right? We have the like weird tentacles coming out of this like fleshy, like this is what the cryptids look like, right? This looks very much, and it's very opposed to a picture that we are going to see later on. It looks very different to it. And also look in the background, right? Doesn't this remind you, remember, before Secrets of the Obscure, and for those of you that haven't watched it, there's a stream that I did, sorry, I got a text message. A video that I did, way before Secrets of the Obscure, or not way before, but before Secrets of the Obscure, and you can go back on the channel. There's a stream that I did. It's called the Realm of Torment Tour or something like that. Which is, for those of you that don't know, for those of you that didn't play Guild Wars 1, in Guild Wars 1 we did go we were able to go into the realm of Abaddon, right? Which is now Cormier's realm, right? Which is the realm of torment. But the realm of torment was this very demonic looking realm, right? There was a lot of like this type of stuff going on. This looks very much like the realm of torment, right? There's tentacles, like you can, I talk about the skyboxes all the time, right? I'm such a huge fan of like good looking skyboxes, and the realm of torment had these amazing skyboxes because you can look in the background and you could see like these huge skeletons and these like giant claws coming out, and like it looked very much like there were these, you know, far away in the realm of torment, there's these huge beasts that are just kind of, you know, and there's a I remember like there's this image of like, it looks like a castle in the background, like this very like, you know, Dracula's castle, like how you'd see in like a comic or something. Like that's what it looks like in the background. Like it's very fantastical, it's very like demon dark, and it's very like gruesome also, because there's a lot of like bone and skin and like sinew like going on in just the realm of torment. There's the heart of the realm of the torment, the area there has like these eyeballs on the walls, and it looks very much just like these, almost these giant dragon eyes that are like looking at you. It's very creepy, it's very gross. Again, for those of you that haven't watched it, go through, and you can kind of skip through it. You don't have to watch the whole stream because it's a very long stream, but kind of like look at the areas around there. There's a lot of really interesting, and this is what this looks like to me. This looks like the home realm of the cryptids is another realm that's the actual demon realm, right? I think we were like, those of us, me included, that originally said that Nayos is the demon realm, we were wrong. Nayos is not the demon realm. Like Nayos is this realm of dreams that was invaded by the cryptids, and has a lot of corruption. Because remember, the Nayos corruption is all, or the Nayos corruption, the cryptids corruption is all this red fleshy stuff, right? We've seen this in the Temple of Febe, but is there red fleshy stuff here? No, we see one of those like turrets flying about, but we don't see anything that's red. There's just like nothing here is really red except for the, you know, this looks like, you know, the, just, we know what this, you know, there's a rift, obviously, right? But that's the only thing that's red here. This is all just like the gross fleshiness of what like Patha and Ceres looks like, right? They don't look reddish. They don't look like, this is what the cryptids look like. This is what the demons look like. So I think we're going to get introduced to a third realm. That's my theory that I have, guys. Again, let me know what you guys think. So let's move on, because this is a long video, and I kind of, you know, I don't know how, you know, for those of you that have stuck around with me for so long, I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys for just sticking around for that long, but sometimes I'm like, man, I need to shut up, because we still have, look how much we have to go through still. So the vault, okay, we're going to get the vault. I don't think we really need to, go into that in depth, but we're gonna get more Astral Acclaim in the so they're kind of talking about how the legacy tab, you know, all the stuff that you cannot get, like all the stuff that's available right now, guys. If you're not getting, if maybe you're super casual and you only log in like once a week and you don't have a lot of Astral Acclaim because you haven't done any of the special tab and you haven't done your weeklies and whatever, right? None of the actual big rewards, like the armors and the mount skin and like those things, those are going to go into legacy tab, where you can still get them for an increased price. These are all going to be the exclusive cosmic rewards that cosmetic. I was like, something in that what I just said is wrong. Cosmetic rewards are going to be put into that, right? So but yeah, so we're going to get, so we got the shoulder. What did we get? The shoulder, the shoes, and the arm, And then this time we're gonna get the headpiece of this armor set. We're gonna get the body armor of this set, and we're gonna get the legs. Again, I hate the skirts, but I do like this kind of slutty looking, but with the little angel on the front, I kind of, I like that. The headpiece is interesting to say. Like, I kind of, I'm like, okay. But yeah, so we're gonna finish up the armor set, and it looks like we're gonna get a matching back piece. This looks like a matching back piece, unless this is part of the body armor that has like its own like cape looking thing to it. But I think this would be more of a back piece, right? So we're probably gonna get a back piece to that as well, which I do like this back piece. I hope it's dyeable. It probably will be, but that looks really cool. I really like that back piece. And then this armor set was the one. It's just a different color variation of the one that we got. Not huge on that set, honestly, guys. I'm not huge on the set, but the shield is kind of cool. I just think a lot of stuff is too thick. Like that's sort of like this just thick with like 3 C's or whatever, right? It's a little much, but I could see some people coming up with a cool fashion with that nonetheless. Not that this looks good the way that they were wearing this right now, except for this maybe, but anyways, whatever. I'm not a good judge of fashion. All my fashion looks the same anyways every time. Weapons skills and balance. As you already read in the table above, 6 additional six. It wasn't 4. It was 6. They didn't. It says as you read 6 available. Like that wasn't in the table above, but we didn't know the number. But yeah, so 6 new additional expansion relics. I hope they're good. Fingers crossed. That they're interesting effects. Kind of changing up the meta a little bit, adding some new effects, adding some cool like stuff that we can use. We'll continue to expand on that. So we're probably gonna get 6 more in May. I'm guessing not too long after we're gonna get a balance update. So the next major, is this a major update? You can look forward to a skills and balance update. I don't know if this is the next major. They don't say that, but they're gonna be sharing a preview of the changes of the new relics and what's coming in the balance update on Friday, guys. So go on their Twitch channel. I might make a review of that. I don't know. It depends on how much we get. If it's just like very dull and uninteresting. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what the update on the 28th is. That's like a month away. What that's gonna bring. Feedback, guys, make sure constructive feedbacks. I know it's the internet, and I know everyone, it's anonymous and everyone gets to go, you all suck at your job and like be constructive with your criticism, and because just being hateful about it isn't gonna help anything, right? You're not changing anyone's mind. You're not gonna be it's not gonna go, oh my god, this guy is right, we all suck. Like they're gonna sit there and they're gonna do what they need to do. So just be constructive on their criticism, and understand where they're coming from with their changes, because the few times that they do give us a preview of the changes, we should appreciate that, and we should be able to, and that should enable us to, they're doing that so that we can give them our input, right? So make sure that it's constructive. I don't know why I'm like fathering you people into it. Like, listen, kids, I don't know why I'm like that, because whatever. I've said some hateful things in my day too. So I don't know. Whatever. Take it at face value. I don't care. This is an important day. Yeah, so November 28th is also very important. Not only are we gonna get a balance update, we're gonna actually get a preview, guys, of our new weapons. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Yeah, we're gonna get Mesmer Rifle. We're gonna get Axe Thief. We're gonna get Pistol Guardian. Like a lot of interesting like Staff Warrior, Scepter Revenant. Like there's so many really cool things, right? Very exciting. I know a lot of people are very excited. Me included. I think it's just super, super exciting. So that's coming in the second major expansion, but we're gonna get a preview. It's a demo. It's a 5-day demo, I want to say. Yeah, it's a 5-day demo from November 28th to December 3rd. So make sure that you're playing in some of those. Just if you can get 10 minutes in to go in and try out your favorite class, and just get a weapon and just kind of go into the PvP lobby for a little bit and bash a golem or something, or go into Queensdale and do something, bash some bandits or something, just to try it out and give your feedback on it. Make sure you do that. just because, you know, it's we want, my thing is that I want, when that release comes in February, I'm guessing is when it comes out, in late January, I guess. So maybe that's when they're aiming for that. I don't know. Anyways, I want that release to be really good. I want, when those weapons actually release, I want it to be really good. Like, I want them to be like already balanced enough where, you know, I don't want to go in and be like, cool, I just got a stab from my warrior and it feels completely underwhelming and awful, and I don't want to, use it, right? I want them to be really good. So, let's make it happen, guys. Okay, so World vs. World. This is very interesting that they mashed this together here, because they're talking about, they're doing a Guildhall Arena. I'm not going to read all of this, but they're doing a Guildhall Arena update, which lets you set game mode rules in the arena. So you can change it from PvP to World vs. World. And in addition, they can have this one I didn't really let's read through it. In addition, we'll be introducing options to select teams outside of the confines of the guild arena, giving you access to the entire. So you can be you have the option of enabling fighting for certain teams, so you can select your team in the arena, but you can fight in the entire map of the guild hall. Okay, that's really cool, because I feel like having to specifically go to the arena is maybe a little annoying, or being confined to the arena is maybe a little annoying. Being able to do it anywhere on the map, that's kind of cool. I feel like that's going to lead to some cool, maybe like guild activities. Maybe, you know, this is maybe going to enable some guilds to do some stuff, I feel like, where you can have like guilds fighting each other, maybe, like, or guilds, like, you can have contests or something, like who's the best in the guild or whatever, right? And you can have like people fighting against each other. You can make like your own little tournament and stuff. Not that you couldn't do that before, but I feel like being able to do that on the entire map is just kind of cool. I feel like that enables you to do grand scale battles and stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff you can do with that. So yeah, the world restructuring, I've been becoming very jaded and very cynical about it. I've been making a lot of jokes about it because I feel like we're never gonna see it. I mean, it's been announced so many years, and we're going into 2024 now. They're running another beta in early 2024, right? It was originally announced in, like, I want to say 2018, 2017. I think I want to say it was Path of Fire, 2018, somewhere around that. Where they talked about, so it's going to be 6 years by the time that this next beta, it's still a beta, guys, and it's been 6 years after it's been announced that they're doing it, and they've kind of shifted away from doing the whole alliance thing to just doing the guild-based world restructuring. And they're kind of like, oh, we have made strides since we've made improvements since the last ones, we've addressed a bunch of things, but it's like, well, you haven't really talked about that, and you haven't really, because they're talking about guild selection, queue failures, reset issues, and more, and it's like, okay, I mean, that seems like this is like PR talk, kind of, like, oh, yeah, we have been doing stuff in the background, there's been like guild selection stuff or whatever, because I feel like the last beta didn't have that many issues, to the point where they really needed to go through and do all of that. I could be wrong on that completely. I don't know what it takes to make any of this stuff, but it seems like very much they're just kind of like, yeah, we're still working. We were working on stuff, but it's just, there's not enough coming out for me to be excited for this. Like I said, I've been waiting on this for since 2018, and at this point, I'm just like, and I know they didn't start working on it until 2021, right? That was the whole talk where they announced it, but then for 3 years, or for 2 years, no one worked on it. And then in 2020 or 2021 or something, they actually started working on it. But that's still 3 to 4 years that it's been in active development, and we haven't seen anything. So we'll be testing Team Builder, UI updates, bug fixes. Great. Okay. Again, not that I'm not excited for it, but it's at this point, I'm like, I'm just over it. I just want it to be out. I just want it to be here. And I know it takes a long time to develop something like this, but I feel like by the time this comes out of beta, Guild Wars 2 is going to be over and we're going to move on to another game. Like, that's what it feels like to me. I know, again, I'm very cynical about it. I'm very jaded. I'm very um for those of you that are maybe new to the game, like, don't let that discourage you. It's just something that, as someone that consumes Guild Wars on a very deep level, right? Because I make content for it, so I consume it, and I'm trying to do more streams about it. And I've wanted to do World vs. World streams for a long time, and I haven't been able to do that because it's just hard to do that when people are like in different servers and stuff. It just doesn't really work out, and yeah, it kind of sucks. So then we get a cool picture, and I think what we're looking at, so we see a lot more red, right? We see a lot more red, but we also see trees, but we also see Cryptus corruption. We don't see the red fleshy stuff that we have been seeing. So we're looking at Nayos here, right? This is what Nayos looks like. Doesn't this remind you of the picture that I talked about a little bit? This is like a magical, fantastical world. Like, the trees are white and the petals are like a reddish, like a pinkish reddish. The grass is like a white, white, like lighter color, maybe a little purple in there, a little blue in there as well. This looks like the concept art that I talked about, right? That's what this looks like to me. Again, there were some people that disagreed with me on it, that said that the concept art is more of just like a random. They said, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't really remember what that comment said, and nothing against that commenter whatsoever at all. But I think it was just kind of like, I think it's just a random picture of something that has like an Astral Ward building in the background. I don't think it had any meaning, and the reason why it has the color palette is because it's set in like the evening, which, valid. I mean, it's completely valid opinion, completely valid on, it makes total sense. But doesn't this remind you of that concept art, though? Doesn't that kind of ring a little bit like, doesn't, look back at that. Look back at that concept art, guys, and look back at this picture. Don't they look a little similar? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but if this is Nayos, I'm going to be happy because this looks really cool. I'm very excited. There's like really cool, like, cryptus stuff. We see more of the like stuff in the back here, but I really like, what I'm a huge fan of is the leaves flying around. I don't know if this is like an effect that they just like have on the picture, or if this is something that we're actually gonna see in the map, because I love that. I love the effect of like leaves, like kind of like these red leaves kind of flying around and stuff. It's gonna make it feel so magical and fantastical, and I'm very excited. If this is Nayos, I'm very, very excited for it, and I feel like my prediction was like maybe spot on. We'll have to see. It's coming soon, so we don't know. So they're kind of giving us the busiest time of the year, except for all the other ones. Okay, those are the major releases. The system updates coming soon, but there's just a little more to cover. November, December will also include more events, a week-long buff to support our extra live stream on November 3rd and 4th. So remember, Extra Life, ArenaNet is very active for this. This is like a huge thing for them every year. So the extra live stream, make sure that you guys, if you can support, go support. Even if you just watch it, even if you just hang out. They usually have like rewards for people in game and stuff too, where we can earn different things through it and stuff. We got introduced to like April, the character April, like 2 years ago or something. There's like stuff that actually like involves the game. A 2-week new hero jumpstart event, which is that's interesting. Does that, like, it's probably gonna be, I'm guessing, like experience increase. I'm guessing there's gonna be some kind of event that has like new hero. I don't know, maybe an extra experience for characters under level 80 or something. A dungeon rush week, that's very interesting. Not that they care about dungeons, but that's happening. And Winter's Day is coming, guys. Lunar New Year and second skills and balance update will be coming along near the end of January 2024. So that's coming. So 2 festivals coming. Winter's Day, as always, which is super fun. For those of you that are new to the game, if you like Halloween, make sure you stick around for Winter's Day, because those 2 are the top 2 festivals, hands down. And Winter's Day is so magical. Like, Halloween has its own little magic, right? It's like dark and dreary, and there's so many different things to do. Winter's Day is a whole different game, and like a whole different aesthetic, and but it's just as magical. Like, it's really fun. I really love Winter's Day. Around then, or a little after, we'll be back to talk about the next few months. Okay, so at the end of January 2024, they'll be talking about it. I think because they're talking about November 7th will be the next release, which is 2 weeks out. So they're probably at the end of January. They're talking about at the end of January 2024. Which, let's look at I can't believe it's all going to be 2024. So that's so the end is, so I'm guessing maybe the very last Tuesday, of January is going to be the 30th, okay, of January. And then let's say 2 weeks after, because we have a studio update 2 weeks before the next release. So maybe they're going to do a studio update 2 weeks before the next release, which would put that on February 13th. So a day before Valentine's Day. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm, so mid-February, we're going to get the next release, I'm guessing. So they're kind of, this is what it's going to look like. November through January, this is what we're going to get. The story continues. Final map introduced, convergences and inner Nayos masteries, additional expansion relics, seasonal refresh, new armor set, which is the Oneris one, Cosmic Observatory challenge mode. Halloween is going to be over November 7th, so when the next release comes out, Halloween is going to be done, so you guys still have 2 weeks. Extra Life enhancement and live stream, so Extra Life is coming up. New Hero Jumpstart, Dungeon Rush, Winter Stay, Lunar New Year. So a bunch of interesting, like, just, right in the, just to kind of keep us active in the game, and we're probably going to get Astral Acclaim here, extra Astral Acclaim here, maybe through these as well. We're going to get extra Astral Acclaim. So a lot of ways to earn the things in the vault, I'm sure. Skills and Balance update, expanded weapon proficiency beta, that's coming up at the end of November. World Restriction beta early January, I think they said. And then Guildhall Arena update, which is, whatever. As a sign-off reminder, we've got 2 live streams coming up. First, we'd love to have join you on, so Friday is going to be on this Friday. Join us this Friday, which is going to be the 27th, guys, for a preview of the balance patch. And then November 3rd and 4th, they do the 24-hour Extra Life celebration. And you can learn more about Extra Life, the Extra Life stream over there if you want to go support them. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I don't know. Are you guys excited for what's to come? I'm gonna kind of, because my face is like so illuminated the whole time when I look at that, my eyes are like, ah. Are you guys excited? Like, I'm very excited. I think there's some good stuff coming. I think we have some interesting things coming out. I'm very excited for Nayos. I think that my prediction was correct. I hope, or let's say I hope that my prediction was correct. I hope that my theory, that my not prediction, but like my just kind of like my concept that I came up with of what I feel like Nayos is correct, because it feels like that's what we're gonna see, and I feel like we're gonna get a third realm, the actual home realm of the Cryptos, but we're not gonna actually go there. We're just gonna invade it a little bit and fight them back. Are we gonna get something after? Like, what's coming after that, right? We don't know how the story concludes. Like, are we done with the Astral Ward after Secrets of the Obscure? Are we done with Nayos? Are we done with the Cryptos? Like, we don't know where they're gonna take this, right? But I think that there's good stuff coming. I like the way that the pacing is kind of going right now. I like that they're doing events in between, like certain things are happening in between. And I want to say that the vault is kind of keeping me involved in the game, right? Because before, I always had the issue of, like, I log in, I do my daily, and then I'm like, what do I do now, right? Now I go in and I do my dailies, and then I look on the weekly tab, and I'm like, oh, I still haven't finished my weekly stuff, or maybe I have finished my weeklies, but there's like another additional weekly one that I'm like, oh, I could go do the strike mission or something, right, to get some more acclaim. And then the special tab, right, and it's like, ooh, maybe there's something in the special tab that I haven't done yet, or maybe I'm gonna go to the festival. Like, I feel like the vault has expanded on the casual players like me. on the things that we can do, right? And I really personally really enjoy the vault and what it's brought to the game. The rewards, like I said, it feels like I'm actually being rewarded for my casual playing now, which was something that I kind of predicted, and it kind of turned out to be true, right? Where I kind of said, I'm like, I really think that that's gonna be exactly for me. I remember saying that when they were announcing Secrets of the Obscure. I was like, I think the vault is like exactly what I want to have in the game for someone that's casually playing every day, and that's really what it's been for me, I gotta say. So it's been a good experience for me so far. Yeah, and I'm excited for everything lore. Like, we're gonna get a new realm, maybe a third realm, right? We're gonna get to go into another realm, meaning Nayos, and then maybe into a third realm. Maybe we're gonna see Mersat. Maybe we're gonna meet other cryptas. We're gonna meet the different house members, perhaps. We're gonna see legendary enemies. Are bounties back? Like, because they're saying bounties, tier 2 and tier 3 bounties. Do they mean rifts with that? I'm thinking they mean rifts with that, but even so, we're going to get legendary enemies in that, meaning that they're going to be probably named enemies. They're going to be probably unique models, perhaps. And there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. And then we're going to get a fractal in the next, midway through next year or something. We're going to get, at some point, whatever, in May or later, June or whatever, we're going to get a fractal, which is super exciting. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited, and I hope you guys are as well. So we're over an hour now, so thank you guys for those of you that have stuck around with me. Again, I'm O'Reilly. If you guys want to become members, there's a button on my YouTube. If you guys want to support me, you can do that. I would really appreciate it. We also have a merch store. I haven't really done a lot with the merch store, but it's also not been like people have been like buying all the things, so but I do want to expand on it. I do want to do more things, and I want to put more stuff in there for you guys to buy. And yeah, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I do stream. I've been getting more active with streaming. I've done like 3 streams in the last week or something, which I haven't really been streaming in the last couple months. So I'm kind of getting back into it. We're doing different games as well. We're not just doing Guild Wars. I'm doing Guild Wars 1 right now. I'm doing a little bit of Guild Wars 2. I'm doing The Last Story. And I also want to get back into Underspace, which is like a huge part. That's going to become a huge part of my channel going forward, I believe, because that's been a game that I've followed for a long time, and I'm very excited for its release. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.